Namaste. I am Dr. Aruna. Today we will be discussing about Agni and Balam. So, welcome you all to this Paricharaka session. Before starting the session, we'll start with a prayer to Lord Dhanvantri. Namami Dhanvantarim Adidevam Surasure Vandita Padapadmam Loke Jararubhaya Mrityunasham Dataramesham Vividaushadinam. So, in Agni and Balam, so that's a topic which I am going to take. So, we will be seeing about introduction about Agni and what is the classical definition of Agni, meaning and nirukti of Agni, what is the functions of Agni, what are the types of Agni we have, which is mentioned in the classical text, and its description, and also the Balam and its types, etc. in this 4 to 5 hours class. Today, people constantly speak about food, like which diet is the best, should we avoid gluten, is intermittent fasting is healthy, should we eat more protein, which foods will improve immunity. These are the common questions which is arriving in people's mind. If you see, the society is only deeply focusing on what we eat. But we should not focus on only what we eat. But Ayurveda says or think which we have to we have to think beyond that. It's a deeper question, like can your body truly digest or absorb and transform what you eat? This is where the concept of Agni becomes a central. Health is not determined only by the quality of a food. The true health, it depends upon the body's ability to properly process and utilize that food. So you can see the two people eating the same meal, but one person will feel energetic, light and satisfied after having a food. But another may feel opposite, like heavy, bloated, tired, sleep, or sometimes even uncomfortable after having a food. Have you thought why this has been happening? Why does this happens? This is where we have explained this beautifully through the concept of Agni. The word Agni literally means fire. But Agni does not refer only to the physical fire. It represents the body's power to digest, as I said, absorb, transform and utilize everything we consume. Not only the food, but also the thoughts, emotions and experience we feel in our life, which is the force responsible for all the transformation within the body. So whatever we have food, when we eat, which should be converted into nutrients that has to reach to energy, it should become a healthy tissues, it should have good strength, immunity and vitality. This entire process is governed by Agni. So this is why Ayurveda gives a tremendous importance to Agni and consider it the foundation of health itself. Acharya Vagbhata explains in Ashtanga, that is one of the Samhita, which says, Roga sarve api mande agnau, which means all the diseases arise when Agni becomes weak. This is one of the most powerful statements here, which says the root cause of all the diseases not merely external factors, but the weakening of the body's digestive and metabolic capacity. So now you have understood that Agni exists not only in the digestive system but throughout the entire body, even at the cellular level. As long as the Agni functions properly, health is maintained. If Agni becomes weak or disturbed or impaired, the diseases begins to develop in our body. As said, Agni is not merely digestive fire, it is a force of a life, it is a power of a transformation, the basis of metabolism and the foundation of health itself. So, if you have a healthy Agni, it is healthy body. If you have a disturbed Agni, which leads to a disease formation. So, even if you have a healthy food, that cannot nourish the body if your Agni is weak or disturbed. So, when we study about Agni, we are studying foundation of metabolism, basics of immunity, source of vitality, and the very essence of health and life. To understand the depth of the concept of Agni, first we should understand the meaning hidden within the word itself. The word Agni is derived from a Sanskrit roots that describe its nature, qualities and functions. The root of the word Agni is associated with Gati, that is movement, activity, knowledge and transformation. Agni is always active and it's dynamic, transforming and life sustaining. The word Agni is also explained through its syllabus like to move or go forward, or it says to shine or illuminate, daha to burn or transform, ni to carry or sustain. Agni is that force which moves, which transforms, which illuminates, which carries nourishment and sustains life. That is, Acharya Yashka explains that Agni continuously performs actions such as dahana, burning. Dahana means burning. Pachana means digestion. Parinama, transformation. What is that? Dahana, it's a burning. Pachana, digestion. Parinama, transformation. So again, it's a repeated. Agni represents a principle of continuous transformation within the body and the universe. When you see Nirukti of Agni, that is interpretation of Agni, the meaning as said, which I am repeatedly informing, like meaning that which moves, which shines, which rises upward and transforms. So you can see the fire naturally rises upward. Similarly, Agni represents upward moving life force. activity, intelligence, and transformation. So Agni is also called as Vahini, which means that which carries. So in Vedic rituals, they say the Agni carries offerings made in yajnas to the divine forces. Similarly, inside the human body, Agni carries and transforms a food into nutrition, energy, strength, vitality, and tissue nourishment. When you talk about Agni, there is a relationship between Agni and Vayu, which has been beautifully described in classical text as Vayu Shakaha, the friend of Vayu. The fire cannot exist without air. Similarly, in the body, the Samana Vayu, which is one of the types of Vayu, which supports and stimulates the Jatara Agni, that is a main digestive fire, which shows the beautiful coordination between the movement, that is Vayu, and transformation. So together they maintain a digestion, metabolism, and life processes. So now we'll see about the synonyms of Agni. What are the synonyms of Agni which is mentioned in the text? Vaishvanara, that is one of the synonym. Vaishvanara. You may heard about one of the medicines called Vaishvanara Churnam. So which means like the universal fire present in all living beings. So that churna is good for increasing the digestive fire, which helps to correct the Agni. Audarya, the digestive fire responsible for processing of food. That is another synonym for Agni, Audarya. The next, Tejas. You may heard about this in different contexts. Tejas, the subtle fire principle which is associated with energy, brilliance, and transformation. If you see some persons, they may say how when they look at them, they say they look very energetic, like it is like illuminating. So by seeing the appearance, they feel, oh, Tejas. So that is the word meaning. They look brighter. And next is Kaya Agni, the metabolic fire. The metabolic fire functioning throughout the body. Jatara Agni, the other synonym which they say is Jatara Agni, which is a main digestive fire which is located in the stomach and gastrointestinal tract. Koshta Agni, digestive fire functioning within the alimentary canal. Pachaka, the fire responsible for digestion and breakdown of a food. Vahini, which I mentioned earlier, which carries. Agni Tattva, Anala, Shiki. These are the synonyms which shows that Agni is not limited only to digestion. It represents the body's entire power of a transformation, metabolism, nourishment, and vitality. So let me repeat the synonyms of Agni. Vaishvanara, Audarya, Tejas, Kayagni, Jataragni, Koshtagni, Pachakagni, Vahini, Agni Tattva, Anala, Shiki. So these are the synonyms of Agni. When you think about Agni, so Agni holds a unique and deeply important place in Ayurveda and Indian philosophy. It's a universal principle of transformation present throughout the creation. So among the fundamental forces that govern the universe, Agni is considered the power responsible for change, for transformation, again, activity and manifestation. According to Ayurveda and Sankhya philosophy, the universe evolved from an unmanifest state called Avyakta, a subtle, inactive state of existence. From this unmanifest state, the five great elements, that is Pancha Mahabhutas, gradually emerged in sequence. That is Akasha, space, Vayu, air, Agni, fire, Jala, water, Prithvi, earth. So Agni occupies a very special position in this sequence. The appearance of Agni marked the beginning of transformation and manifestation in the universe. So before Agni, existence remains subtle and unexpressed. So you can see what is the importance of Agni here. With the emergence of Agni and its quality of Rupa means a form, a creation becomes visible, active and dynamic. Till then it is invisible. So Agni became the force that converted the subtle into the gross, the invisible into the visible, and potential into manifestation. So why I am explaining all this again and again? To tell that Agni is as a force of transformation. Agni is the principle behind every transformation occurring in nature. It transforms matter, rearranges particles, converts a food into energy, supports metabolism, sustains all biological and cosmic activities. Nothing in the universe remains static. Everything continuously changes form, and this transformation happens through action of Agni. The matter and energy are never destroyed. They only transform from one form to another form, which is explained in the Parinamavada theory of Sankhya philosophy. So Agni is the driving force behind this transformation. As I said, with the support of Vayu, which providing the movement, and water facilitating the combination and flow. Which performs a work of conversion and reorganization within the body, within the both body and the universe. Agni is the one which performs a work of conversion and the reorganization within the both body and universe. So what is the importance of Agni in the human body? Just as Agni sustains the universe, it also sustains life within the body, which is responsible for digestion, absorption, metabolism, tissue nourishment, immunity, strength, vitality, and mental clarity. If without Agni, the food cannot be transformed, tissues cannot be nourished, energy cannot be produced, and life cannot continue. That is why Ayurveda considers Agni to be the root of health, basis of vitality, and the protector of life. When this Agni is balanced, body stays healthy, the mind remains clear, tissue becomes nourished, immunity remains strong. If you see, if a person is having an disturbed Agni or weak Agni, they may say the symptoms like, my digestion is weak, I feel the heaviness in the body, I feel toxins are present in my body. I feel that. I feel tired always. So, which shows if Agni is disturbed, weakness of digestion will have, toxins will be accumulated, metabolism becomes impaired. What happens because of this? The transformation is not happening there. The nutrients is not been transformed. The energy is not been transformed. So disease will begins to develop in their body. So as explained, every substance in the universe is made up of 5 elements in different proportions. This includes plants, animals, humans, microorganisms, food, medicines, and all natural substances. So they say Sarvadravyam Panchabhaudikam, which means everything in the universe is composed of the 5 great elements, that is Panchamahabhutam. So the human body is considered as a miniature form of a nature itself. So whatever exists in the external universe also exists within the body. When this Panchamahabhutas combine along with Atma means like soul or consciousness, the life is created. This gives rise to living beings such as human, animals, birds, plants, microorganisms, etc. So therefore, the life is a result of the union of Panchamahabhutas, mind and consciousness. So when you want to learn about Agni, you should know what is the role of a Panchamahabhuta, what is the role of each element. So let's see, I'll give a little description about Panchamahabhutas. So when you see about Prithvi, it represents, you can think about structure, stability, strength, heaviness, solidity. So what you will observe in your human body, if you see all these qualities, where it represents like, so that is bones, muscles, tissues like nails and whole physical body mass. So these are the forms that Prithvi Mahabhuta is represented in a human body. Next, when comes to Jala Mahabhutam, that other meaning, other synonymous up, water element. So what you will think about when you think about water, it is having the fluidity, moisture, lubrication, softness and cohesion. So again, what you think about in a human body, how it represents or how it present in the human body, there are so many fluids are there in the body. Plasma, blood, lymph, so many secretions are happening. So all the body fluids are considered presence in the human body. And then if you see Agni, that is Agni is a fire element. So fire element represents heat, the first one. Then digestion, metabolism, transformation, intelligence and vision. So what is Agni Mahabhuta represent? Heat, digestion, metabolism, transformation, intelligence and vision. So how it governs in body? As same, digestion, it controls the body temperature, cellular metabolism will be happening, perception, these are the things which is present in human body. And then next Mahabhuta, like Bhuta is Vayu, air element. So which is responsible for, let's qualities like movement, activity, circulation, communication, nerve impulse. Everything is controlled by Vayu Mahabhutam. in human thing, so you can relate with how air element will function. Like it controls first prana, breathing, then movement. Whatever you have food, it has to move. Whatever any fluids, it has to move. So this is which is done by Vayu element. Sensory functions. So any transport which is happening within the body is controlled by Vayu Mahabhuta. If any obstruction happens in the Vayu Mahabhuta, then the proper transportation will not happen inside the body. The next is Akasha, space element. It represents space, emptiness, openness, etc. It forms, how it forms in the body? Body cavities, channels, pores, spaces within the tissues and organs. So till now we have seen what is Pancha Mahabhuta, how Agni is formed, what are the qualities of a Pancha Mahabhuta, and how it is functioning in our human body. We have seen all this till now. Now we will move on to what is the relationship between the Pancha Mahabhutas and Tridoshas. So because this is the same 5 elements which is combined in different proportions to form the Tridoshas. So what are the 3 doshas we called? Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So what is the formation of Tridoshas? Vata. If you see Vata, hope you have seen in previous classes about doshas. So let me explain about it. What is the combination of a Pancha Mahabhuta in each doshas we will see. So Vata is Vayu and Akasha. Pitta is Agni and Jala. Kapha, Jala and Prithvi. These are the combination of elements which forms this doshas. These 3 doshas which governs the structure, function, physiology and balance of the body and mind. When the Pancha Mahabhutas form the very foundation of human body, natural laws, physiology, and which helps to understand the health and the disease. Okay, so now when you see Agni is identified, how you can identify the Agni? In what form you identify the Agni? So there is a two important qualities are there. How that you can easily assess. Rupa, by form, visibility, illumination. When you see a fire, you see that. So you find it. So you can see Rupa. That is a first quality. 2 important qualities are there. One is Rupa, that is form, visibility and illumination. The second quality, how you feel, Sparsha, how you know the body temperature when you touch. So that is especially heat. When some treatments are done to your body, how you know? Through this touch. So that is the 2 main important qualities for Agni is Rupa, Sparsha. This is the most important point for an Paricharaka. When you are doing a treatment, you should know the heat. How much heat should be used for the patient. Like when you are pouring any decoction on the patient's body, you should know what is the temperature of that decoction, how much it should be poured. And when you are doing any type of kili, that is like pounding treatment, you should know how much temperature should be given. So you will know that heat by sparsha, that touch. Okay, so the Agni is having these two qualities as the main qualities, Rupa and Sparsha. So anything that possesses these qualities is considered to contain the principle of Tejas or Agni. So Rupa refers to visibility, appearance, brilliance and illumination. So there are so many words which is being repeatedly saying, that is, what is that? Transformation, illumination, brilliance, because this is the terms which say about that Agni, like, so these terms will be continuously repeated. Classical text describes a form of Agni as Shukla and Bhaswara. We have to know where are in so many texts they have mentioned about Agni, and they have described or written in how to express the Agni, like, so there are different texts mentioned, different authors has mentioned about the qualities of Agni, meaning of Agni, everything. So there are different. So now the other text describes the form of Agni as Shukla, that is bright or radiant. When you see a fire, when you see anything, you can see that bright or radiant. So Bhaswara, that means it's shining, glowing, like, so thus it clearly says that Agni represents light, brilliance, radiance and perception. So because of this property, so we have to connect everything. So like Agni is closely connected with vision. When you see that the form of Agni is Shukla and Bhaswara, which says light, radiance, perception, means then we have to connect with what is that. So in a body, like vision, if you want to understand something, Agni is needed. If you have good intelligence is needed, Agni is needed. So everything is, if there is a proper Agni only, the body functions will happen properly. So the Nayana, the eye, is considered a sense organ which is associated with Agni. So when I said vision, so we have to think, okay, the eye is considered a seat of, like, Agni will be present in the eye because it is like having the quality of light, radiation, vision, everything. So Agni Mahabhuta will be present in the eye. So organ associated, because the perception of depends upon light. This is Rupa. So which I have explained about the Rupa quality, how you can see where it will be located, how you can connect it with a human body based on the qualities. Okay, now we can see about Sparsha, the touch quality of Agni. So when you see the touch quality, what do you feel? Agni, it's a Ushna. Ushna means heat. Tejasaha Ushnata, which means heat is a natural property of a Tejas, which is a synonym of Agni. So in Sparsha, if you see, the main quality is Ushna, the heat. So heat is a natural property of Agni. Whenever the heat is experienced through touch, there is a presence of Agni is understood. So we have to relate. So this is how you have to understand Agni, how it is being present in our body as well as in the universe. So when you are seeing a patient, when you are treating a patient, or when you are doing a treatment, you have to understand how this Panchamahabhutas or Agni is present in our body through these qualities. So as said, whenever the heat is experienced, what is it? The warmth, temperature, digestion, metabolism, transformation. So all which is indicate the action of Agni within the body. So it's clearly mentioned that hot touch, the sparsha, that which possesses hot touch, ushna sparsha, is an inseparable relationship, is known as Tejas or Agni. Heat and Agni cannot be separated. Where there is an Agni, there will be a heat. So it cannot be separated from one another. So wherever true heat exists, you should think Agni is present. So now let's see other qualities of Agni. So I have mentioned two qualities first. That is Rupa, Sparsha. We have described the Rupa by understanding the Rupa, where it will be present, and by understanding the Sparsha, what is the what to say, how to understand the Agni is present based on these two qualities. So now we'll see what are the other main qualities which is mentioned in classical text, like Ushna, as I mentioned, heat, Bhaswara, brilliance and radiance, Dravatva, fluidity or transformative. So when you think this, like if a person is very brilliant, or if a person is having a very sharp, clear mind, then you have to think their Agni is properly functioning. So this is how you have to assess the people also. Sukshma, that is other quality, subtle in nature. It is very minute. It can reach everywhere. Tikshna, obviously it is very sharp and penetrating quality. These are the other qualities of Agni. Ushna, Bhaswara, Dravatva, that is fluidity, Sukshma and Tikshna. So by this you can think, you can understand that Agni exists everywhere in the universe. Although the Agni is one universal principle, it enters and exists in countless forms throughout the creation. So Agni takes the form of the object in which it resides. So where it is being located, that form it will be taken. So Agni manifests as, like if you see a sun, like sunlight. So Agni, if you see inside the body heat. Agni which is present inside the stomach, it is good for digestion, metabolism, energy, intelligence, transformation. If anything wants to transform in your body, Agni is needed. So therefore the Agni is all pervading, life sustaining and essential for all activity and change. Now we'll see what are the other 11 characteristic features of a Agni, which is mentioned in different classical text again, which may repeat again and again, because here, as I said, I'm giving all the references of Agni which is mentioned in different classical texts, so that we can connect Agni in our body, how it has been placed, where it has been placed. We can understand the concept of Agni here. So now we'll see 11 characteristic features of Agni which is mentioned in one of the classical texts. That is Rupa, again form or visibility, Sparsha, touch, Sankhya, number. Here it is mentioned Sankhya. Parimana, quantity or a measurement. Then Pritaktva, individuality or a separation. Samyoga, union or combination. Vibhaga, division or separation. Paratva, dependence. Aparatva, independence. Dravatva, fluidity or transformative nature. Samskara, processing or refinement or transformation. So these are the 11 characteristic features of a Agni. Now you can relate how when the food is taken, how it has been digested, how it has been separated, how it has been transformed, how it converts into an energy, how it converts into an nutrients. So these are the features of the Agni. Because of these features only, this is all happening in our systems. Like what is that? Rupa, Sparsha, Sankhya, Parimana, Pritaktva, Samyoga, Vibhaga, Paratva, Aparatva, Dravatva, Samskara. These are the 11 characteristic of Agni. So as I said, among all these qualities, you can see Rupa of Agni is radiant and luminous. Sparsha is always Ushna, heat. So once again I am repeating, Agni represents a universal force of heat, light, transformation, metabolism, perception and the life itself. So now let's see about functions of Agni according to Charaka. Agni supports Ayu, lifespan, which is the one which gives you Bala, strength, which is the one which gives Varna, complexion, which is the one Swasthya, health. If you want to be in a healthy, your Agni should be in a proper functioning. Ojas, immunity. If you have a less immunity, it means that Agni has been disturbed. Tejas, vitality. Utsaha, enthusiasm. So, as I said, Agni supports Ayu, lifespan, Bala, strength, Varna, complexion, Swasthya, health, Ojas, immunity, Tejas, vitality, Utsaha, enthusiasm. So by seeing all this, you can understand in each functions of your body is represented by Agni. If Agni is not functioning properly, your health will be deteriorated. So we will see now where is the seat of Agni. So as I said, Agni is present all over your body. So but there is a main seat. So they say Grahani. In Ayurveda they say the Grahani is considered the main seat of Agni. The proper functioning of digestion depends upon the health of both Agni and Grahani. So they work together closely to maintain the nourishment and metabolism in the body. So if you see the meaning of Grahani, which is derived from the root meaning to hold or to retain. This is the word meaning of Grahani. Grahani, which holds the food until the digestion is properly completed. So it does not allow food to move forward until it has been adequately processed by the Agni. So now hope it's clear. So Grahani is considered as the main seat of an Agni. If any proper functioning of digestion is only depends upon this both Agni and Grahani, which is where this is closely work together to maintain the nourishment as well as the metabolism. The word meaning of grahana is to hold or to retain. So the food, whatever you take, it will be kept hold in grahani until this has been digested properly. If this digestion is not happening properly in grahani, which will not allow the food to move forward until this is adequately processed by its Agni. Okay, now, so where is this grahani located? So the grahani is located above the umbilical region in the area of upper abdomen, and it is closely associated with the digestive system. So what is the function of this grahani? So it performs several important digestive functions like holding food for proper digestion, supporting the action of Agni, digesting and processing the food, absorbing the nutrients, regulating the metabolism, and ensuring the proper formation of a nourishment within the body. So this grahani is actually very much connected with Agni. So this grahani depends upon the strength of the Agni. If healthy Agni will keep the grahani strong and functional. When Agni becomes weak, the grahani also becomes impaired. That is why we are mentioning about grahani here. So as a result, what will happen? Digestion, if Agni becomes weak, then the digestion becomes incomplete, the food remains improperly processed, toxins may accumulate, so the disease may form, so the digestive disorders will begin in the body. So now we have to see what is the symptoms of weak grahani and strong grahani to understand and by the symptoms. So when a person is having a weak Agni or a grahani or disturbed Agni, so they will have following symptoms like bloating, indigestion, heaviness, like heaviness after food. So when a person is having enough food, he may feel that food, even with a little food, he will feel the heaviness. So he feel the food has not been digested. It feels heavy. It feels that it has been stuck over your stomach. Then you may have loose stools. There may be an irregular bowel movements will be there. Abdominal discomfort, poor appetite, incomplete digestion. So these are the symptoms which you see when you have a weak grahani. What are the symptoms? Bloating, indigestion, heaviness after food, loose stools, irregular bowel movements, abdominal discomfort. You may have a poor appetite, incomplete digestion. These are the symptoms. If you see this in a modern correlation, like it can be compared or correlated with the parts of a modern digestive system such as stomach, duodenum, small intestine, digestive enzymes, and intestinal digestion and absorption process. So now you can have an idea what is grahani, because when you relate with a modern correlation now, so the stomach, duodenum, small intestine, digestive enzymes, everything is combined, and we say in Ayurveda it is a grahani. So grahani is not in a structure but a functional digestive unit responsible for the proper digestion, absorption and nourishment of the body. So healthy grahani reflects healthy Agni. Healthy Agni is the foundation of a good health. Okay, so now let's complete this session. So by just revising little bit what we have taught today, then in the next session we will be seeing types of Agni and its description. So let's go through what we have taught today. Just a minute. Okay. So we'll see the important points which we have seen till now. So Ayurveda sees Agni as in a deeper way, like whatever you have food, which should be, whether we have to think whether the food what you eat, it may be an what to say, which is a very nourished food, or it may be a healthy food, whatever it may be. But you should understand, if your Agni is good only, whatever you eat, it will be truly, whether it is truly digest, whether it has been absorbed properly, or whether the transformation is happening properly in your body, is depends upon your Agni. So even if you eat food healthy way, it doesn't nourish it until your Agni is functioning properly. That you have to understand. And then another point is roge sarve api mande agna, which I have mentioned. All the diseases arise when Agni becomes weak. That is a second point. So healthy Agni, you will have a healthy body. When you have a disturbed Agni, you will lead into a disease formation. When you see about that definition of an Agni, it is, you have to think Agni is to move, to shine, to burn, to carry. That is a force for moves, transforms, illuminates and carries nourishment and sustain life. So most important function, like explain, like dahana, burning, pachana, digestion, parinama, transformation. And we have seen synonyms of Agni, that is Vaishvanara, Audarya, Tejas, Kayagni, Jadaragni, Koshtagni, Pachakagni, Vahini, Agni Tattva, Anala, Shiki. These are the synonyms of Agni. And then we have seen what is the relationship between Panchamahabhuta and Agni, how Agni is formed in the universe, like what is the importance of Agni in the human body, we have seen. And we have seen what is the qualities of Panchamahabhutas and how it has been represented in our human body. Then, so as said, so when Panchamahabhutas, when it combines along with Atma, the life is created. So the life is a result of the union of Panchamahabhutas, mind and consciousness. And we have seen what is the Tridoshas, that is Vata, Pitta and Kapha, how that Panchamahabhuta combination is there in the Tridoshas, that is Vata, Vayu and Akasham, Pitta, Agni and Jalam, Kapha, Jala and Prithvi. What is the two main qualities of, what is the properties of Agni? Two main properties, that is Rupa and Sparsha. Rupa is a form, visibility, illumination. Sparsha is a touch, that is heat, Ushna. What are the other qualities of Agni is Ushna, Bhaswara, Dravatva, Sukshma, Tikshna. So when you see about Agni, Agni will takes the form of the object in which it resides. As explained, Agni will manifest as like sunlight, body heat, digestion, metabolism, energy, intelligence, and transformation. So it is present all. It is all pervading, life sustaining, and which is essential for all the activities and the changes within the human body as well as in the universe. And then we have seen about 11 characteristic features of an Agni, that is Rupa, Sparsha, Sankhya, Parimana, Pritaktva, Samyoga, Vibhaga, Paratva, Aparatva, Dravatva, and Samskara. These are the 11 characteristic features of an Agni. And when you see about functions of Agni, according to Charaka, he explained that Agni supports Ayu, lifespan, Bala, Varna, Swasthya, Ojas, Tejas, Utsaha. That means lifespan. It supports a strength, complexion. If you want to maintain a health, it is needed, immunity, vitality, and enthusiasm. And we have seen what is the seat of an Agni, which is Grahani. We have seen what is the word meaning the Grahani, which is a root meaning is to hold or to retain. So we have also seen the symptoms of weak Grahani, that is if you have a weak Grahani or Agni, which means you have symptoms like bloating, indigestion, heaviness after food, loose stools, irregular bowel movements, abdominal discomfort, poor appetite, and incomplete digestion. So Grahani can be correlated with what? Stomach, duodenum, small intestine, digestive enzymes, and intestinal digestion and absorption process in a modern way. Can be correlated with that. So if you have a healthy Grahani, it reflects into a healthy Agni, and healthy Agni is the foundation of a good health. So you can see this video, and if you have any doubts, you can ask in the question and answer session on Saturday. So in next session, we will be talking about types of Agni and its details of each type of Agni. We will be explaining it. Thank you. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah.